that, I guess. Yeah, no, just no live split today, I guess. I mean, it's kind of on me for not figuring out where on my computer it is. I am not feeling on top of it today. Not enough you. I'm sorry. Seems like we're both having not great days. Damn, I hate this map. Usually a good cue on readability of a map is how long your first run takes. And I think we started with 11 minutes on the timer, which means we've made it 3 minutes without completing a run. And that's a sign that the person who made the map did not do a good job of communicating the route. Is this a magnet? I think that's a magnet. It's a longer one. I think it also says something very real when 7.5 minutes into the track, I am in 1600 with a minute and 40-second time. Which one, Maeve? Yeah, did you see that person directly in front of me, like, try to go the wrong way? It's because lines are really poorly communicated. And also, there's just 1,000 ways to, like, snag on little things and fuck you up, and all the transitions are speed checks, which means that if you do mess up in the wrong spot, you just can't continue. I think the map style would be like transitional tech. There's a lot of plastic. It's just kind of a kitchen sink map. I think that's really what it feels like. Feels like a kitchen sink. I do not get a vibe other than being unhappy. That is the only feeling that I get out of this round. There you go. I turned it up. I think it could be that the music's too loud as well. No. Test. Test. Man, I can't. Why? Why? Why is it that when I say the word test specifically, it's like 10 decibels higher than when I'm just talking? What is wrong with... It's the demons. T's a loud sound. Thurgo. Tuberculosis. Test. I'm telling you. A normal volume tuberculosis, 10 decibels higher test. I don't know. We need a different word for my sound check. What word should I use for my sound check? Simon, we need a word without a T, babe. You went to the zoo? What was your favorite? Alpha Centauri? That's a pretty good one. Honestly, I was about to say that I should start just reading off the Fitnessgram Pacer test, and then I remembered that literally has the word test in it. It was hot. All right. Well, I didn't need to know that's how you felt about animals, but thank you for sharing with the class, I guess. They had a capybara? Okay. Out of all of the animals think is hot, I don't see what you see in capybara, but... This map is fucking miserable. It's literally the worst. I'm having just the opposite of fun right now. I wonder if there was a checkpoint there. Honestly, I was thinking about not streaming. I was thinking about not streaming today, because... Oh, there is a safe bin. Fucking gorgeous. Because I'm just not feeling great. And this map is making me regret going live. Think it's too late to go back on that decision? The good news is, we'll probably not finish the first round, and then not finish the second round, right? And then get eliminated with half the field, which will mean that we won't have to be doing the Cup of the Day for much longer. And I think I'm just gonna go ahead and give the champs of the day a miss today. Should we find out to who we owe the pleasure of this incredible map? Or do you think it'd be best if I don't know? Nice browser window. Thank you. It's where I keep all the important things that I Google. Well, not fucking hell, Maeve. That's what 20 blocks looks like? Ice. Welcome. Also, congratulations to whoever was first on being first. That's the kind of day we're having today. I feel like I still need to turn the render distance up. Cowbell smashing the concrete while someone wheezes through what used to be a trumpet. Fucking excellent. What's going on here? Okay, this is the way. Well, we completed the map 3 times now? 4 times? Kind of forked. It's really garbage. And, like, there's a part of me that feels like maybe it's just because I'm in a bad mood that I'm taking it out on the map. And then the rest of me, which is having a really awful time right now, and I'm pretty much 100% sure that it's the mapper's fault. They had trees in the buildings. Or they had trees outside and AC in the buildings. Gold, good to see you. I hope you're well. Yes, would anyone in class like to tell me why this map is bad? What are the things that you think that I would say about this map? What are my primary complaints, do you think? Be as specific as you can be. Not competitive. All right, expand on that idea. No clear direction, multiple paths. Very good, very good. Speed checks after bad turns. Excellent! Black surfaces and critical parts. Ooh, that's a really good point. I hadn't considered what was unreadable about that particular turn, but yes, exactly. Plastic used at all. I can permit plastic, but you are correct that the plastic is a problem. The reason the plastic is a problem, the reason that the plastic is a problem is that they put plastic immediately before sort of like, let's call them dexterity checks, which is to say there's a jump with like a specific way to do it or a spot to aim for, or there's something you need to dodge. And the problem is that since the map is so unreadable, you have less time to react. And the time that you have to react is on plastic, and with plastic, since it's so difficult to steer, you need to start steering earlier. So you have the combination of it's too late to react by the time you can react because the surface in question is plastic. This one right here, that black piece is exactly what you were saying, a black road surface in a critical juncture. Yeah, it's too visually noisy to... So I think that what the mapper could have done to save this map, all of the turns look different, which makes all of the little turn signs they use, which makes it a very visually cluttered. Same with the bars that tell you which direction to go. If you want to do something as busy as this, you should reserve a color to only be used to tell the driver where to go. Okay? So there's no purple on this map. All of the light bars and all of the arrows should be purple. If you do that, it makes someone who's driving, who's trying to figure out what's going on, know, like, instinctively in their brain what is okay to filter out and what is not. So that is a great trick that you can use, is all of your signage should be in a color that's not used elsewhere in the map. Sometimes, obviously, that can make it kind of stand out in a negative way because it doesn't blend in. But at the end of the day, if you can't pick it out, that's more of a problem for the driving. And frankly, they've already gone for the space junkyard aesthetic anyways. So, like, I think it'll be fine. The split on the elimination was 47 seconds. That's bad. That's very bad. And mind you, we're not even in tip 35. This is tip 27. Let's see. That magnet turn, you can get stuck on the inside and be forced to grind along the inner turn, which is feels bad, man. This turn right here, it's really easy to catch on. That turn right there, it's really easy to catch on. This is the very unreadable turn. This jump, it's easy to fail that speed check. This turn's very unreadable. This turn's very unreadable. This turn's very unreadable. Easy to fail this speed check. That two green poles right there are really easy to bonk on, and they have the classic problem of you put a very thin thing in the middle of the track, so you're decently likely to bonk on it, but it feels very bad when you do. Let's see. All of this I can read. This I can read. This one's a little bit hard to read. That one's a bit blind. This is the bad magnet turn I was talking about. That's a tough read right there. Yeah. Who are we? K Cetus 4PF. K Cetus, you've done a very bad thing and you should be ashamed of yourself. Map is poopy, Angie. I guess that is exactly what I would say. Good point. Did we cover everything? Did I miss any complaints? Ice, the secret to Genshin is all teams are good as long as they're your favorite waifus. Don't let anyone tell you about the meta. If you'd like me to judge your choice of waifus, I suppose I can do that. Yes, very well mapped. Thank you, Mapper. Thank you, Mapper, for your map. Thank you for including what just happened in your map. Well decided. I'll hate him. Jean? Well, Jean's an excellent choice. Xiangling is the little one with, like, the pepper bear, right? I have no idea what Jean is like. I don't... Wait. I'm catching a vibe from the name Diona. It's adorable. Tip, Xiangling is a chef. A very short chef that uses a spear. She does fire attacks. And I'll hate him? I don't know. That sounds like maybe one of the, maybe one of the Fatui, maybe? I think I'm feeling rough today just from the lack of sleep from 2 days ago. It could also be just, like, the very large amount of responsibilities piling up and making me feel not good about all the things I have to do. It could be that. That has been known to cause me mental anguish in the past. See, it's that after a jump like that, you don't want to put a check like that. So those two bars are in the middle there because if you go to the left, it'll flip your car because you can't drive over that lip. But the problem is you can also smash on the bars. But basically, the mapper should have left more distance there to prevent you from, like, being in that situation, because basically you don't want a situation where the entirety of the okay to react window, the average player will be in the air. A six-pack? A man with a six-pack? Well, 3 thumbs down, because that is not a waifu. Now, one might argue that there is a man on my team as well. But I'd like to argue that he's probably more non-binary just by the vibes, and also he's got a laser beam, so are you really expecting me to not pick him? Does I'll hate him have a laser beam? I'll forgive you if he's got a laser beam. No? Oh, no. Tragic. Classic mistake. Only choose the dudes who have laser beams. I forget mine's name, but he's the one who, what is it? Oratrice Mécanique something Cardinal. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we've been playing this map for 25 minutes now, and I'm still driving it like this is my discovery run, which probably says something about the map. I think it says more about the map than it does about me. Which one, fam? D'Annalise Cardinal. Oratrice Mécanique D'Annalise Cardinal. Wait, oh shit, I closed out of it. New Valette. I'll hate him. Hilarious. Got you. That makes sense. See, with a name like New Valette, how can you tell me that's not, at bare minimum, non-binary? Like, et is a feminine suffix in French. E-T-T-E. And like his hair. And his vibe. He doesn't give, like, exactly, like, femboy vibes. I don't really know how to explain it. Fuck. How are we? I have two questions. One of them is, how are we in with that? The second is, how are we only on top 27 at 12:33? What's going on? Sushi at a revolving sushi place. I'm choosing to interpret that not as a sushi place with a conveyor belt where you grab the sushi off of it, and instead as like a sushi merry-go-round where the whole store revolves. Excellent mapping, excellent mapping. Well done. Very proud of you. I feel like there's this thing where as you get better at the game, you become more capable of driving on jank, and then the jank becomes invisible to you, and then you go, oh, no, that map was really fun. It was jank, but it was fun. And then you're like, according to the yes. I love that emote. That's a great emote. Sorrel high. Smoother when you're good? I mean, it's not even that. It's that basically, the better you get, the smoother you are able to make jank feel. Oh my god, Maeve, that's even better. It's not. Well, another interpretation of just a sushi place where there's a lazy Susan. But instead, what if they give you little spinny things that they put your plate on? So when you take the sushi from the center of the table and put it on your plate's just spinning. But yeah, I don't care how good you are. This map is objectively jank. I think that the better you are, the less jank you can make it feel. But that doesn't change how jank the map is. Because I'm just going to say it. I crashed 4 times, came in 5th place, and had a PB on round 9 of this map. What a fucking mess. Gotcha thing? It was expensive? I'm sorry. Gotcha sushi? Kind of expensive? Had the robot butler. Maybe I've got no fucking clue what you're talking about. I wonder if anyone's made a remix song of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal yet. I just cannot abide by letting RNG get involved in my meal in the slightest. I feel like if you go to do you know the places like Dick's Last Resort where it's like a restaurant where the whole deal is just will be mean to you? If I don't go out here, it's a travesty. Like, I'm sorry. I am sorry. But what just happened there is I had a crash which left me off the track facing backwards, fully stopped. And then I came in 11th. You're welcome, Raniel. Top 16. Robot that would bring your booth. When you got 15 plates, it would dispense a gacha? Wait, hang on. 15 plates of sushi? No wonder it was fucking expensive. What the hell? this run finishes without a crash, it's gonna be fucking wild. .5 second PB in the top 16 round. That is fucked. 350 play between the two of us. 80 with tip. This being the cup of the day that you win? Fucking hope not. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm still sight reacting to like most of the turns. I'm just fortunate because there's like 3 tech turns that if you set up right, kind of line you up for success on a lot of the rest of the map. And being good at tech means that sushi was good quality stuff. I think I ate too much sushi for like a couple years that now I don't know. I don't know how to put this. It's like part of what I like about sushi is the variety. But it all feels the same because I ate too much of it, I think. Sky tram over some giraffes. This is a wild ass zoo. What the hell? Was this for like an occasion, maybe, or did y'all just go to the zoo? Carr Jr. I know Sorrel. It's like the goat, but there's no T, so it's just goat. He's the goat. Just 1 letter short of the goat. Real talk, I don't know like most of the lines. Snap still. I will say it again. If I do not go out this round, it is a travesty. Bro. I'm glad I went out. But that's not how it should have happened. Yo, Spelljammer went out the round before me. Alright, we've got 3 minutes. You know, I didn't even play the cup yesterday. Like, I didn't play the track of the day yesterday. Maybe we should take a peek at it. Was it good? Oh, wow. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. Wild. Oh my god. What the fuck? Wait, okay, we actually have 2 minutes still. Nice, mate. Nice. Yeah, I'm warming up to the map a little bit. Like, don't get me wrong. In terms of Cup of the Day, in terms of doing competitions, this map is an abomination. Especially in the context of speed learning maps, it's atrocious. It's got a lot of depth and complexity that makes me think it's kind of interesting as a hunting map. And most of the complaints that we had matter less if you get time to learn the map and if you, like... So here's a really great example of something that's fine on a hunting map that is objectively not okay on a racing map. When you crash into a wall, if you are punished by being unable to make a jump after that or something like that, that is inexcusable on a racing map because it's uncompetitive. You're punishing people who are doing worse, which just stratifies the field and makes it uninteresting. On a hunting map, if you crash a wall, you're probably not going to finish the run anyways, so it's fine. Right? Same thing on a hunting map, double respawns and checkpoint placement don't really matter. We didn't even talk about checkpoint placement. Yeah, I think some good players talk about how maps that are calculated force lines. And I think this is a great example of a map that I wouldn't call it calculated, but it does very much force lines because there's either a line that works or a line that very much does not work. And you're pretty constrained in that regard. See, I also need to learn what the good player gripes are so that we can more holistically judge maps. I'm currently sitting at I think a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5. I'm thinking 4 right now though. Like, the one thing I will say for the map is once you know the route, if you can remember all of the turns, the flow is quite good. Which is why it's not getting like a 3 or a 2. Alright, I'm gonna go use the restroom, but I'm gonna put us in the jams today first. Alright. I'll be right back. Wow. You know, sometimes when I like make comments about maps, I think, damn, I feel like I'm completely full of shit. Like sometimes you like read a food critic, right? And you go, this person is just faffing off intellectually. And sometimes I feel that way when I make a criticism about a map. What I just talked about, how like it doesn't feel bad to hunt, but it feels bad to raise. I was like, aren't I just kind of doing the same thing? And then I got into another race and immediately started hating it again. And then I was like, damn, never mind. No, I know what I'm talking about. I did GLA, Jeffrey. Did I not? You know, Sorrel? It just struck me right now that we never talked about why your name has the word napalm in it. What's that about? Ah, yes. Good, good. Meant for billionaires? What's meant for billionaires? Sorry. Oh, napalm. Oh, that makes sense. Okay. Honestly, not even. Can we? We cannot. Excellent. Excellent. This is what I was talking about. Once you get, like, some maps, the flow feels good, but once you crash, everything feels very off because the speeds are kind of wonk. So one crash leads to another crash. And that's the kind of thing where in competitions, it's like pretty much the worst attribute a map can have. There was like a dirt map that the other day. People were saying basically if you lost a gear, you didn't have the gear for the rest of the map. Alright. Should we try to get a clean run? If I get frustrated, we'll stop. A punk hyena. Last name is Napalm. Sona's a metalhead hyena. Gotcha. Gotcha. Definitely gives off a little bit of edgy for the sake of edgy vibes, but... Oh, that's the gold time. I was like, there's no way I'm keeping up with the world record here. Iggy, good to see you. God, something happened to you? Oh my god. Did I tell you guys about the absolutely fucking wild storm we had here the other day? Thunderstorm? I'm sorry. Tiff, do you remember? Did we talk about that on the stream? In case anyone wasn't here. It was absolutely bananas. Basically, Tip and I were just like watching YouTube in the evening like we do. And she was like, hey, pause that. And I was like, okay. And then she was like, is that thunder? And I was listening and it was like a rumbling. It sounded like a train was passing or something. But like there's not like train tracks anywhere near us. And then I like opened the door and I was like, nah, it's just a plane. And she's like, I don't think it's a plane. It's been going for a while. So we pulled up lightning tracker and I shit you not. We like looked, my friend, I don't know where he saw it, but somewhere on it, it said 70 lightning strikes a minute in our local area. Like, it was like someone pissed God off. It was crazy. But the wildest part, this was like, there was like a thunderstorm warning and everything. Was that the same, was that the day there was a thunderstorm warning? We've had tornado warning. Yeah, and there was no rain. That was the second tornado warning recently, right? I'm telling you, someone pissed God off. Just like, no rain, tons of lightning, and fucking tornado warning. Yeah, it just fucking rolled through town. But straight up, it sounded like there was a jet passing overhead. But like it would sort of like die off, you know, like it gets louder and then it gets softer. It would do that, but then it would just like get louder again, and then like die off and like rumble, like it was organic sounding. The weather's been pretty. I don't want to like, you know, like global warming, weather's been getting more extreme lately or anything like that. I'm not because I don't think global warming doesn't increase the extremity of weather, because it most certainly does. But I'm not certain that it does it on the magnitude where it would overwhelm just local noise, if that makes sense. And I don't want to over attribute loud thunder, building shaking thunder. There was a little bit, wasn't there? And I'm just like, it's Jover 2012 2.0. 2012 times 2. But I'm just like, it feels like this year it's been way more crazy than like, and it's like crazy in a bunch of different ways. Because I'm like, I've lived up here for like 5 or 6 years now. And I'm like, I think that in the 5 or 6 years that I have lived in Madison, I think there have been 4 tornado warnings, maybe 5 that I can recall. And 2 of them happened in the past 2 weeks. Never mind that, like, I feel like the snow was pretty normal this year. But, like, you know the, like, April showers bring May flowers? It was dry as a bone all of April. then all of May, and it's been fucking pouring in June. And I'm like, that's not how I remember it going. Earthquakes instead of tornadoes? Well, the good news is global warming probably won't do anything to the earthquakes. But I gotta say, if global warming ruins the only good thing about the Midwest, which is that I can trust the weather not to be fucking crazy, like the Midwest as a whole is low-key as fuck, and that's why I like it here. I like it here because the cost of living is low as hell, because the weather doesn't act stupid. Like, you know, it's unpredictable and all that, but we don't have, like, natural disasters do not happen in the Midwest. We get small tornadoes, and that's it. But if the tornadoes are getting worse, we literally had, like, flooding, like, a few days ago. If this shit keeps up, nah. I'm moving somewhere where there's a trade-off for the natural disasters. Illinois? Like in college? Or, I'm sorry, in Chicago? Can't say much about the rest of Illinois. Chicago's definitely one of the cities of all time. Middle of... Wow. Well, I guess it'd definitely be peaceful there. I don't have many opinions on non-Chicago Illinois. And I don't particularly like Chicago, so I'm not a big fan of the state. Kansas gets both. Yeah, Kansas is in Tornado Alley. You couldn't pay me to move to Kansas. Yeah, I think the biggest problem with this map is just a really, 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 really high skill floor. Because, like, you know, if you could drive a perfect line every time, that line does exist. But if you get off that line a bit, like, your wheel will catch something, it'll fling the car sideways, and your run is over. And it's just like, come on, my guy. St. Louis metro area, Champaign-Urbana. Oh, yeah. University of Illinois. That was the first college I visited when I was doing school visits. The reason I didn't go is I went and I was like, I want a physics degree. And they were like, yeah? All you gotta do is take one extra drafting class and you can get an engineering degree, so you might as well get an engineering degree. And I was like, but I don't want an engineering degree. I don't want to hear that your engineering degree and your physics degree are one drafting class apart from each other. So when they told me that, I basically wrote it off. And then went to a different engineering school, Purdue. And as it so happens, Purdue's physics program is very separate from its engineering program. Yeah, I was just across the border. But yeah, so I was always like low-key resentful of them, of Illinois, just because like, well, because I don't take too kindly to people describing physics as budget engineering. And also because after having like, you know, the field of study that I want to be in, like written off so like callously, then like they had this whole meeting where they like sat down all of the perspectives and they were like, oh, our like acceptance system is holistic and like we don't even like accept ACTs or whatever. We want to know about you as a person. And I'm like, all right. But you've already made it very clear that you don't actually want me as a person, so... Physics with a budget applied? That's not true, though. It's not true at all. Engineers and physicists approach problem solving incredibly differently. The best way I've ever been able to explain it is the difference in attitudes between physicists and engineers towards machine learning and neural networks. Because basically, for an engineer, you make a neural net, it's a black box, and it solves the problem. And they go, fucking perfect, this is exactly what I was looking for. It solves the problem. And for a physicist, they see a neural net and they're like, well, this doesn't help at all because it doesn't tell me how to solve the problem. So, like, they seem very similar on the surface, but in practice, like, physicists and engineers, like, they may tackle similar problems, but they do them in very, very, very different ways. All right, well, that was our 2.3 second PB, so we're out of here. Let's look at yesterday's. Yeah, so physics is fundamentally about understanding the underlying principles of things. Whereas engineering is much more about understanding like cause and effect or like result. This map is got little dinos. It does also, I don't know why there's a checkpoint. This, oh my god, did we miss a bobsleigh map? What the fuck? Well, this is ice, okay. Ice and grass? Okay. I'm starting to be a little bit more okay with missing it. Custom bobsleigh blocks, question mark? They do give you a nice long approach. Not that it helped, but you know. Engineering best. Everyone is entitled to their opinions. Yeah, no, this is a pretty nice boss lineup. How are we on the double resets? Very nice. Maeve, I am not out here to, like, I'm not out here to poo-poo opinions that are subjective, right? I like physics, and I get that that is because I am a person who is sort of physics-brained. And, like, I get that there are people who are engineering-brained who don't like physics as much, who don't approach problem-solving in the same way, who don't have the same worldview as I do. And I'm not going to sit here and suggest that people who think differently than me are inferior. That's a very close-minded attitude. Wait. Astrophysics instead of computer engineering? I worked in an astrophysics lab for a little bit. You think it'll be a way, and then it's not that way. It's not very fun. Can you believe I spent a full year in an astrophysics lab? I didn't look at a single star the whole last time. Isn't that lame? I know. It turns out you gotta be an astronomer. The astrophysicists aren't looking at stars. Actually, astrophysicists are like maybe the least star lookers out of like anybody, because they're like, we took our lab and we buried it under a mountain so we could detect the neutrinos from the cosmic background microwave. Wait, see, cosmic microwave background, cosmic background. Cosmic background radiation. Yeah. I spent a year helping to calibrate a model for the Xenon 1-ton experiment, which is detecting dark matter. Trying to. Trust me, if they were detecting dark matter, that'd be a Nobel Prize. Yeah, I think the thing about astrophysics is even if you're looking at stars, you're not though. You're looking at spreadsheets. And then you have to interpret them into pretty pictures. So I'm like an incredibly visual person. And I think the saddest thing about being a scientist is pretty much all of the science that we're doing these days is just not stuff you can look at. The age of looking at your science is over. That's like the thing about, well, okay. Data scientist gets to look at pretty things. And that's why I want to go into data. Well, okay, I will say this. Chemists are very much still looking at their science. It's just that a chemist's approach to looking at their science is different than a physicist's approach at looking at chemistry science. Because for me, they go like, yeah, in here you can see that this is reacting with this. And I'm like, but you can't see it. And they're like, yeah, you can. It's turning orange, see? And I'm like, why does this with this mean that it's turning orange? They're like, because that's what color it turns when those two things react. And I'm like, I can't see it, though. The infuriating number of times that chemistry involves pouring one clear liquid into another clear liquid, and then them being like, oh, it changed by 2 degrees. Oh, it's working. And I'm like, this is so lame. Okay, no, geologists are different breed. Geologists, ecologists, environmental scientists. Probably, honestly, what I should have gone into. But even then, like, an unfortunate % of the time is running around with, like, a little pipette taking groundwater samples. But, like, at least they get to run around, right? Yeah. Biologists are doing cool stuff. What kind of biologists? Because I'm telling you, they're in the same fucking situation. Look at microbiologists. It's even worse. They're not even pouring clear liquids into clear liquids. They're just taking a dropper of clear liquid and then putting it on a slide and then sticking it in the machine. And, like, don't get me wrong, the science behind the imaging is utterly fascinating. It's incredible. But you also can't really look at it. The machine. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I did a rotation in a lab that was doing cryo-electron microscopy, which sounds like it'd be cool as hell. Nothing to look at. Nothing at all. Let's watch the world record. See if there's anything to get from it. Ooh. How? How? What? No, that wasn't the question. The question was, uh, he stayed so low in the entry, and I've got no idea how. Grass bobsleigh is scary. I feel like grass bobsleigh, it's like every little tap was pre-calculated from 4 turns ago. Like every turn, every tap was calculated from like birth. From their birth, every tap, they're like, I know how this will impact everything that happens in the next 7 years. It's terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. I mean, you see, he, like, does not steer out of the exit. He just rides it directly from the exit into the entrance of the next bobsleigh. How? And I'm out here going like, oh, like, it's so mean to put grass between bobsleigh because you're choosing such a slippery surface to have to line up your next entry. And they're like, oh, well, yeah, you're not supposed to be steering on the grass. Makes no difference if it's grass or ice or fucking reactor up plastice, you know? You're not supposed to steer on it. You're supposed to flow right from the last one into the next one. This one. That bobsleigh turn is the hardest one on this map by fucking far. I've got a little bit of juice left in the tank as evidenced by not steering. I've tried it, Sorrel. I do not fundamentally understand how you do that. Because when I don't steer in bobsleigh, the car is stable. And when I steer, the car is very unstable. It feels like people who steer in bobsleigh are like riding on the edge of a knife. And I'm just not here for it. Action keep piano keys? No thank you. No thank you, no thank you. I mean, it's like, so the secret to bobsleigh, right, is you get these resonance zones, and they are stable to a degree, and the key is to, you want to enter directly into the local minimum, right, where like all of the actions balance out and like there's no resonance. It's just you're just moving. And around that, basically, you get these cyclical resonance zones. Like on a phase diagram, they'd be orbiting it. And if you're too far out, then basically, instead of getting a resonance zone, you fly into an unstable sort of situation where something like this happens. Rip Sorrel not getting the mathematical explanation of how to bobsled. This is a great example of how if your angle isn't right on the entry, then instead of pushing you into the loop, it kicks you out of the loop. Okay, I will start from the beginning for anyone who missed it. Basically, wow. Basically, you get these local minima, like optimal. What you want to do is you want to slide directly into the place where you don't get those resonance patterns. But like on a phase diagram, those resonance patterns would orbit the optimal spot. And basically you want to reduce movement as much as possible by hitting the center of that sort of orbit pattern. But if you get too far out from the optimal spot, then you'll just slide out. So like this wall, for example, if you go up too high, basically what happens is, yeah, that's exactly right. That's the phase pattern of when you are high, right? When your car is high, it wants to push your car down. And when you're low, it wants to push your car up. But it also, in each of those situations, wants to rotate your car. But since the rotations counteract each other, basically, you end up both going up and down and having the car spin. But if you get too high, if you get too high, then basically the rotational force, I think it pushes the nose of the car upwards, and then the car facing that way, basically you enter an ice slide, which pushes the car upwards, which means that you get out of resonance, which is how you spin out. And it happens more the faster you're going, which is why when I saw him enter that one ice slide, I was like, how the fuck do you enter it so low? Because if you can stay low, then you won't get resonance because you can just get right into. But basically, the key to controlling it is to be able to feel that resonance and understand which way to do your micro taps to push you closer to the resonance and not further away. Which is why it's so hard for new people to do bobsleigh, because the timing in like respect to where you are in that phase cycle is important. And like you can't just steer in a direction. You have to do steering taps at certain points in the cycle. Marcus, congratulations on being first. But basically all of that is to say, yes, I am well aware that just steering is faster, right? But it also makes the resonance pattern, the shape of it, a lot more difficult to operate under for a couple of different reasons. One of them is that just literally when you are steering, it's much more easy for you to spin out inside. And the other is that if you are steering, the only lever you have in terms of control is to stop steering, right? So if you are out of phase in the wrong direction, you don't have a way of correcting for that because you can't steer more in the direction you're steering. You're already maxed out in your ability to adjust in that direction. Which is why I say that people who steer in bobsleigh turns are riding on the edge of a knife, because basically they're trying to hit the center of that space, but if they go in one direction, they have no means of correcting it. I don't think we're topping that. Because now we're getting a campaign in like 5 days. 5 days. Crazy.